Hello everyone. So I want to talk about Civil War and what I thought about the upcoming Civil War. We might possibly have the second one in America. Now, I don't want to spook anyone. I don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable. But this is something that I think is important to talk about because I think that a lot of people they are arguing in different political categories, such as Republicans, you have Democrats, and they're just going crazy in the news in a violent way that I've never seen before in history. And I think that this is something that we should talk about, and it is something that is very concerning for the future. For instance, the most logical thing that I want to talk about, I think everything, you can see it in front of your own eyes. I don't even really need to explain it, but you can see the left and the right fighting mainly over what was it, MAGA hats and Trump. And I think it really started during Trump's election. I know it started a few years before during Barack Obama, but I think mainstream, with everybody that was included, it would definitely be during the Trump period after Barack was done. Now you have Trump. You have people that are representing that on the right side, and they're saying "Make America Great Again." They're wearing the hats, but then Trump. He does stand for a lot of things that I obviously agree with because I am conservative. I am totally to the right, but I obviously lean left in a lot of different circumstances and what I believe. But mainly I am on the right. So I agree with Trump, but there's a lot that I disagree with. And I think that that's, some of the downfalls that we have with, basically anyone that you would have in political stands. So yeah, I'm going to have some differences that I agree with. And so is anybody else. One of my major issues of Trump, although I absolutely love what he does, is the fact that he's not really addressing the issue. And I wouldn't blame him because the media is attacking him every second. But at the same time, I feel that it is a responsibility for Trump to address what's going on between the left and the right and to talk about that. There's been so many attacks for people that are Republicans sticking up for Trump. A lot of different Trump supporters, mainly because they're wearing the hat from his slogan for his campaign saying "Make America Great Again," and they're wearing that hat, supporting him, and then they're ending up getting punched in the street, hurt, doxxed, all these kind of ridiculous, mad, weird situations that are happening, but he can't defend them. I don't understand that. Yet, I have seen Donald Trump Jr. defend a lot of conservatives online with Tucker Carlson on Fox News and, maybe some other radio stations. I haven't really looked into that, but I have seen Fox News. But still, having that one video where he talked about that for literally like 20 minutes, it's really cool that he did that. With all the commotion and everything that's going on, definitely the worst thing that I think would be what's happening with the children. I think there's a lot of, weird stuff because they're seeing people fight. They're seeing people fight for no reason. They don't understand. You have the right and the left are fighting for no reason, really, besides what's going on in the media. That can take a toll on a kid, yet they grow up, they realize that, they see that, and they're prone to be more into dramatic situations because of that. Imagine being born in what people call the Cold Culture War. They say the Cold Civil War. I mean, people have two different versions of it, basically saying that all hell is about to break loose. If you're a kid and you're growing up in that situation, it's not a good one because it's very stressful. You have an environment full of tension, hatred. A lot of people are on their toes, and it's not good to be around. Now, why I want to mention that is because I think this is a big realization for a lot of younger people. I, for one, think that we should just stop messing with children with politics. For example, I think there was like a New York law that was passed that every single Monday, these kids in public schools are not going to allow any meat in their public schools so that they can fight off against climate change and they can fight off against global warming, all kinds of different issues for animal rights, right? But that wasn't voted in for. That was something that I'm sure a lot of kids agreed with because they think that it's progressive, they think it's a movement, and it's something worth fighting for, which a lot of kids want to be involved with. But at the same time, I don't think that they understand the deeper meaning. I'm happy I was able to share that, but I did want to dive deeper into Civil War 2.0, basically, and what we would have, okay? I want to talk about that because I think a lot of people from the left and the right are just too far over in their head. They think that it's something that it's not. And I think it's something to talk about. But also, at the same time, I think there is a way that the right is pissed off, and where you can see that, why they're pissed off as well. So you should also listen to that as well. Okay. So what I wanted to mention first off with the Civil War is that if we start actually having that in a modern day society, that there's going to be a lot of tension that's going to be brought. I don't just mean a lot of tension brought from anxiety from other people running around. I mean, there's going to be the military. We're going to have a lot of people working in the military that are going to be against us. And I don't think everybody is going to be with us because obviously, I mean, if you're in the military, they're probably picking the people with the better off guns, right? So I'm just going to say that as a fact. Now you have the military against you. You have people that are against you in the military. What do you think is going to happen with that? Look at martial law. Look at things that happen. Look at curfews and all of that. Put that together and then realize it's going to be a little bit harder than you thought. People aren't going to be connected throughout the phones. They're not going to be connected throughout social media. That's also going to be definitely in front of the government's eyes for view so that they can see that. Now, they also have technology that's in space. We also have, technology that I would say with drones, flying robots, okay? It's a little bit different than what we had back in the day when people were actually able to, let's say, fight back against their government. So in a theory, it wouldn't even really work, I don't think, and I'm not trying to sound like, I'm not believing in people having justice if something goes wrong. But if you want to look at it, cold stone facts, look at what you're facing, look at what you're going against. It's completely ridiculous. It would be like a snake going against a freaking dragon or something. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, that's like the crazy thing about Civil War is people, they don't think about the details that are involved and actually everything that's going to be going on without the story. They just think that, oh yeah, I'm all of a sudden, I'm going to top the left. I'm going to top a liberal, a crying liberal, and everything is going to be easy. I'm just going to, try to take them out real quick. That's all fine. But then you realize that that's not the end of things. That's not the end of America ending. Are you serious? If America ever ended, there would be a bunch of people in power that would be defending that because obviously it's worth a bunch of money. This country is a mess. Nobody can talk. Nobody can come to any conclusions at all. It's like literally living in a whole entire hell world. I mean, I'm not even joking. Nobody can talk. If nobody can debate, nobody can properly talk. You're just hearing people say la 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 la, and they're all little politicians. They're so immature and they don't want to make any compromises. They want to spit their own opinions. America is about people getting together, making, different things for Americans where we can try to prosper and do better in our life, and we make plans, from the left and the right to do better, but they don't want to do that anymore. They want to be selfish. They want to focus on their own plans. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't get anybody further. It makes people go further apart. And when they start doing that in our own country, you gotta raise the eyebrow. You gotta question what they're doing. And when you question what they do, as an American, you know exactly what they're doing. What they're doing is they're trying to divide people. They're trying to make you pick a side. They're trying to make you pick left or right. They're trying to make you pick a black or white. They're trying to make you pick right or wrong. And it's not even really down to that. Not even from right and wrong. It really isn't down to that. You know what it's down to? It's down to us being Americans. It's down to us living the same way that we have with our values that we've developed in our country over time. They're trying to destroy that, what we have as Americans, from the left and the right. And they want to make us fight back and forth to destroy our own country. Think about that. The best thing about America, the best thing that we have right now, is the way that we're able to communicate with each other with our own differences. The best thing about America is that we have our freedoms because people are able to communicate so that we can get to that point. If we can't do that as a democracy, if we can't do that as people, as citizens in our country, we no longer have any more freedoms. So therefore, you have to have people from the left and right bicker literally constantly, but also fight for the same concepts, for the same reasons, for the same stuff that has to do with our Constitution. That's what it's always been about. Now, when you have people trying to argue for stuff off your Constitution, that is pure evil, in my opinion. I think that that's something we don't need. I think that if it's coming from the right, it's coming from the left. If you're not going to be talking about something that's going to be improving our country, obviously, get out. Although that's just my opinion, I think that it's very valid. I think that if you do want control over this country, you have to know how the country works. You have to know how the country has its needs and whatnot, because every country does have needs. Whether you like it or not, it does. Whether you're in Japan or you're in Africa or you're in America, there's a lot of needs per country, and that would be culturally how the country would fit with different people. So if you have everybody in the country going against one culture that fits that specific country, there is a total downfall. You need to have respect. You need to develop respect for every country that you live in. So, at the end of the day, if you want to live in a country, you need to develop some respect for that. And I think that could be hard for a lot of people. But hey, develop that respect. You're in this country right now, you gotta have that respect, and that will go a long way. And as a theory, not definitely real or anything, I want to talk about Civil War a little bit more deeper with the weapons that we have. So we don't just have normal, shotguns or guns that would be going off. It would definitely be guns that are in space, like laser guns that are going to make you evaporate all of a sudden and make you disappear in less than a second. I don't think people realize that. Now, you're not just going to be shot with a gun. There's going to be all kinds of different weapons that are available if you were impacted in a civil war in the 21st century. So a lot of people, they don't think about that. They don't think about the consequences and what's going to happen in their life and what can ultimately happen afterwards of doing something like that. So ultimately, you see people in a situation in the future through theory that they're going to be, going through this thing where the government are just able to get them throughout satellites and throughout technology that they're unable to even realize. My best advice on what I would do in a civil war is that I would definitely attempt to fight for the better. I would try to do something. But in the meantime, I think the most that you should be worrying about is your shelter, your survival, how you're going to survive with your family. For what's going on right now is that it's kind of crazy. We're not I would say a lot of us are actually fighting on the street, but it's not a majority of us fighting on the street. Now, what this really is, it's mental. It's an information war. It's where you have information only coming from one political spectrum, so that you believe in their narrative. You believe in that everything is left-wing ideology, far left, maybe possibly, by everything that they're sharing, and you never get the right side. You can never hear the other side. And also, you have Trump supporters that are beaten the shit out of on the street, basically for no reason. There's police that are told to stand by. They're told to just sit there and just to watch other people that are voting in our country, other people that have responsibilities to vote, to pick a president, to pick a vice president, to even pick a mayor. They have voting responsibilities. They're not thugs. They're not in, even any legal drama at all, but they want to support their president. All of a sudden, that's an issue. They're going to have violence coming to them. I mean, come on. That's where we're at right now. 2019, going on 2020. This is Hollywood's revenge. This is their revenge on us. Their revenge on the people for having their own freedoms. When you're able to have your phone, you're able to have so many different apps that can make different possibilities for you in the future to even make you a star, possibly. They don't like that. They like being in control. Let me be straight. Let me be real. Because a lot of people don't want to talk about it. They want to talk about how many people have been assaulted for defending Trump and for being for MAGA and doing that and for supporting him. But if you want to realize that it's been literally over 700 attacks, a lot of people have stood up for their president, and their president hasn't once defended them. I still stand for Trump. I still, obviously believe in him over other presidents right now because I think that he's doing the best. I really do. But still, at the same time, I'm really disappointed. I'm really disappointed that he's not talking out about freedom of speech. He's not talking out more than he can. I know he's only one person. I know that it takes a whole entire nation of people to move and change something. But at the same time, I really do want him to be talking more about this so that we can change this. It's very difficult to change something when your president isn't even acknowledging it at all, especially when people hate you for supporting your own president and then he's not acknowledging that. Like, what? All the left is doing right now is pushing people apart from each other, and I just think that it's really ridiculous. So yeah, going with our civil war, having the things that are laid out in front of us in the way that it is because of the people that are in charge. It really is. Is it our fault? Is it the people that just sit there silent and don't say anything? Is it celebrities as they work on their movies and modeling and doing whatnot? It doesn't matter, no. Singing, no. None of that matters with the rappers and what they do. What comes down to it is what, the people that are in charge, the people that are in charge of our country and what they're doing right now. So a lot of people, they want to shift the blame. They want to shift the blame on the citizens. And that's what they're doing to Trump supporters, and people are getting sick of it. And I think that eventually, if you're going to try to also shut people up, there's a lot of censorship online, cross that in between with your media talking, about you, and then you have censorship online, then you have all that going on. I think a lot of Trump supporters are just going to flip. I mean, to be completely honest, I really do. I don't want to say that, but I really think that that's going to happen. I think that some people are just going to flip. I mean, you just can't shut down one half of, America. You can't do that. You can't be like, half of the people can talk and express their political opinions, express how they feel, and express how they want the country to change and what they want to change about our country, and not be attacked on the streets. But then you have Trump supporters that are attacked on the streets. They're attacked online. They're censored. Everything. I mean, you have people having their bank accounts deleted, and it's just really sad. I don't know why this is happening in our country, but obviously it's definitely evil forces that are trying to ruin our country for some reason, probably obviously for money. Like everything else in the world, it's always about money. In our country right now, to this day, we have Trump supporters, like I said, being attacked. But you know why? It's because of Antifa, because of the false narratives that they have had, that they've spread rumors about different people. They're not actually going after, real fascists. And even if they are going after real fascists, do we have some sort of conservative group that's going after socialist or, communist? That's ridiculous. We have our freedom to represent any party that we want. Once we're going on the streets, once you have one side going on the streets getting attacked for what they believe in, it's not fair. It's not fair anymore. They are voters. And actually, at bars, you have people that are voting for our country, even some of them that have served for our country, fought for our country so that we can still be alive today. Yeah, they're getting kicked out of bars. They're getting kicked out of restaurants for wearing whatever they want to wear that's political. I mean, if you want to wear a Trump shirt, or if you want to wear a Make America Great Again hat, we've seen that happen. All the discrimination against that. And that's really, really screwed up. I mean, it really is. Because think about this. Where's the freedom in America when people are starting to do that? They have the freedom to do what they want and to say that people can go out of their business, I'm sure. Because you also have the issue going on with, the baker making the cake, not wanting to serve, the two gay people and put what was on that. I mean, I get that. Okay, people have the right to do what they want and who they want to serve and for different reasons. But I really think it's gone out of control. And I think it's gone out of control because obviously you have to have one side voting, you have to have the other side voting. Once you're discriminating against one side, things are just going to go crazy, hectic. I mean, can you imagine if every single Republican was just like, oh yeah, like, and just put their hands up and stuff against the Democrats and said, I don't even care anymore, like, whatever, I'm just gonna give up all my true values, my beliefs, my upbringing, what I was taught. People don't do that. They do not do that. People do not give up their values. They don't give up their beliefs. If someone feels like they actually believe in something in a strong way, they're going to usually fight for that. They're going to usually fight for their beliefs. One of my biggest theories on what we should do, and I think that if this is happening, we should just try to compromise. We really should. We should try to have as many public debates, discussions, what we can have, so that basically if we are trying to compromise in our country and we're trying to get to the next level, we're trying to make a solution from one side and the other side, then yeah, we're going to figure out things. But if we want to be silent, we want to be ignoring each other, we want to go into these technical cults, I would say. I mean, I'm not going to say they're cults, but yeah, I mean, you have people going straight all the way to like the farthest right and then all the way to like the farthest left. And I think the majority of people, they're just kind of in the center, or they're like, in the center, but then they lean right, in the center, but then they lean left, like stuff, stuff like that. Okay, so that is definitely important. But yeah, the main reasons why I'm even bringing any of this up is because I think that we're being controlled, we're being forced to say things that we don't want to say. And with our country, it's about freedom. It's what we want to do. If you want to make a business, go make a business. If you want to go, do a hobby or a sport, go do that hobby or sport and go, have fun with it. And if you want to talk about something, you can talk about anything that you want to talk about, with all that being legal, of course. And that's how our country is. Pretty great. It's amazing. You have all the freedoms that you want. But when somebody goes in the mix, you have a lot of people going in the mix saying that you have to talk this way. You cannot say this. You cannot say this, and you have to say everything like this. And if you don't, then you're going to get shunned from society, and people, they're going to put a label on you. They're not going to talk to you. This label is going to be like this. It is very scary to live in that world, and that's not how America is. I'm sorry. You gotta go somewhere else with that, because it's not how our country is, and the people, we don't accept that. War is not fun. Whether it's a civil war, whether it's a regular war, or even a small battle, it's never fun. It's never a good thing to happen. And that's why I want to talk about this right now, because I've seen a ton of articles for the last 2 years. I think it's more than 2 years. It's been the last 5 years where people are talking about having a civil war breaking out. But more than ever right now, I want to be honest, and I do think that it's pretty close. I really do. I really think it's pretty close. That's why I want to talk about it, is because I think the most important thing would be debate, would be speaking. And that's why I want you guys to get out of this conversation, maybe, is to think about that, is to think that you don't always have to resort to violence. And I know that kind of makes me sound like a libertarian, or like I'm very peaceful or whatever, like a hippie. Okay, that's not it. And I know that's not going to, have an example for every single circumstance that you're dealing with, because sometimes, things do kind of need to get violent, and I think that's not with the circumstance that we have right now in America. We don't need to be like that. We don't need to get that way. So another thing is, look at what's going on right now in Paris. Look at the Yellow Vest. They're on their 22nd week. They're going to go on their 23rd week next Saturday when they do that again. If they ever do that, I don't know yet. I don't know the news. They might stop completely. But, this Saturday, it was their 22nd week protesting the streets. Everybody's together. They're wearing the yellow vest. And a lot of the police, they're going very hard on them. And I thought that was police brutality. I made a video about that before. Not about the yellow vest and just the police, but I did do a video about the yellow vest. I did a few of them. And one of the videos was definitely, talking about what the police were doing, how they were interacting with the people that were, I would say basically revolting against our country, going against our country. And that's not good either, but I guess they have their own opinions with that. But then again, they did vote that way. That's their decision as a country, and I mean, as a city, and then they want to get mad about that. So I don't know. I don't really want to go, super in depth with that. I don't know completely about Paris, what they voted for, but definitely with voting, if you vote a certain way in your country, and the majority votes a certain way, then what are you going to expect when the outcome happens? Okay, so let's go back to the Paris incident, though, and what was happening with the police. The police, they were acting very, very rough. It was very rough. They weren't playing around anymore. They're definitely, pushing people on the street. They're going hard. They're, definitely doing a lot of takedowns. And I thought that that was, some sort of police brutality. But I guess they have, martial law. They're trying to calm down the people. They're trying to make their country better. And it's just very, very wacky. But yeah, to sum things up, that's basically why I'm talking about this, because I don't want things to go to where we're fighting on the street. I don't want us to be Paris right now. I really don't. I don't want us to be Paris. I don't want us to be rioting in the street. I don't want us to be protesting. That is crazy. I want us to be compromising in a civilized manner, to be speaking about what we want, and to be talking about that in a civilized way. On that note, I'm going to head out, but I did want to actually make an update. So I haven't made a lot of videos for a while, and it's been like a week, right? And I haven't done a lot. And I think for me, that's kind of, ridiculous, because I make a lot of videos for a week. And what I wanted to say is the reason why is I wanted to take a break from that. I stepped away from that. I actually stepped away from Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube all at the same time, because I was really sick of big tech. I was really sick of all these platforms. I've definitely been on Minds and Gab a little bit, checking in. I haven't really posted, but I've, been viewing and see what's going on, and I just think that it was a really good break. Whenever I'm on big tech platforms, whenever I'm on a lot of these different platforms that are being controlled and censored, I don't really feel comfortable. I don't really feel good. I think that it's like being on a leash or something with a freaking shock collar. I mean, that's crazy to say that, but it really is. And what you can say, it's not good. Like, you're walking on freaking coals, like hot coals. It hurts. It's not good. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to, try to get away from that. I like that I did that, and now I'm back. And I think that also what I wanted to say from that is that, if you're really stressed out about social media, if you're really just stressed out about a lot of this stuff online, go take a break. It's okay. Everything is still going to be on the internet if you take a break. Everything's permanent on the internet anyway. I mean, so if you want to leave for a few days, that's a good thing. That's okay. You can leave. You can not even be on the internet for like a month or 2 months. I mean, hell, you do not need social media. People do not need social media. They don't need the internet. So I think once you realize that, you have the realization that you don't need the internet. You don't need social media. It is definitely a good thing in your life, and it's amazing to realize that, especially in the modern day, society that we have. Especially if you're younger too, and you're more used to having that at a younger age. Because when I was younger, I didn't really have like a phone until I would say I was a little bit older than the kids that have phones right now, and I wasn't on the internet that often. So yeah, it's definitely a bigger change, because when you're out in the real world or more online, yeah, there's a lot of differences. Okay, so I did want to end this video, and I will check you next time, because I'm going to have another very soon.